I'm here looking at this 335i this morning. It's a little bit beat. Has a bit of damage along the side. So interior is a little bit worn as well. Steering wheel has just some wear. Door handle there is also worn and that has to be replaced. Seats are quite worn. The iDrive works. Seats are just worn here. Headliner is quite dirty as well at this point. That side it's sagging a little bit. In the engine bay, typical valve cover is leaking. Oil filter housing is leaking. There's a little leak here from the brake fluid as well. And underneath it, it's either oil underneath or transmission fluid is leaking as well. Wheels perspective, front tires are 2018s, but rear tires are 2010s. Each of the wheels has curb rash. There's a bit of damage on the car on the side here, right here as well, things like that. Stated that this fender is replaced, so this was corrosion from the old fender. No corrosion there currently. This wheel has a big chunk out of it. So I just test drove the car. It had a little clunk on the side, but the interior is very rough. The exterior is extremely rough. It needs a mirror cover. It needs, the bumpers are a little bit damaged up and stuff like that. So we'll put this one on the back burner for now and then decide what we want to do. I'm going to go see another black one now up in Markham. And that one's actually X-Drive and automatic and a little bit of fewer options than this, but it might be a better choice just from kind of the cosmetic condition of this car. So let's head over, see that one, and then we'll go from there.
So in the last clip, we went to go look at that white 335i, and it had quite a few issues. It was leaking quite a few things. So we went to go see the next BMW. That was a gray one. It also had a few little issues. It had a leaky valve cover, even though it said it was done. It had a leaky exhaust, so there was a big exhaust leak. And there was a few dings and scratches both on the inside and on the outside of the vehicle. So as you can see in the photos that I took, that I'll attach here, front bumper was ding, rear bumper was ding, interior panel was damaged, stuff like that, very similar to the first one. Then we went to go see a third one, and the third one was the nicest, but it did have a misfire issue. I didn't grab any pictures of it just because the engine wasn't in the best shape. So judging from the two, the first one was kind of the cheapest. The second one, he was asking almost double of what that initial one was. And the third one was the nicest, and it only had a misfire issue. So which one did we go for? So I'm already back here at the shop now, and we ended up picking up one of the cars. You know, you'd have to be an idiot to go and buy the first one. It had so many issues. The trans was unknown because it might have been leaking as well. Oil filter housing was leaking. Valve cover was leaking. I think there was a coolant leak as well. So, you know, that one would have been a massacre to, buy. Yeah, we bought the white one. So let's go have a closer look at the car. Let me pull it into the shop, let me move the Miata out, and let's take a look at this car.
You're not sad and good, are you, Slash Gang?
Now we have the 335i in the shop. Let's take a look at all the bad things on it, and then let's take a look at some of the good things. Because it's not all bad with this car. At the end of the day, it is the 335i. It is a big, not a big, just a twin turbo 3-liter motor. So it's not a big motor, but it makes decent power. Starting off with some of the exterior bits, we can see that the BMW logo is damaged and bad. The front bumper has a whole bunch of scuffs on it, which is not good. The headlights are very, very faded and fogged up, so we'll have to get those all polished up and looking pretty. Moving on to the passenger side, this mirror is damaged. As well as in the B-roll, if you saw, this side skirt is quite damaged as well along the side there. The door has a bit of a scratch on it, but I think that part is buffable, so that is savable. Continuing the theme with things wrong on the outside, it has these blacked out taillights. I don't know how I feel about them. Apparently they are depot, so they are aftermarket, so they might be bright enough for us to keep. We'll see. Maybe I'll do a vote if we, junk those or if we keep them. And then the rear bumper just has a few scuffs here and there. The rear bumper might be hard to find a replacement for, so we might just get this one painted up, just because it's an easier solution than replacing. Now, moving on into the interior. Interior is not in the best shape. As we can see, a lot of the door panels are not in good shape. They're ruined. They're very, very dirty. The seats are the white Dakota leather interior. So they looked great at one point, but they are just very, very dirty. Though they don't have any rips. And kind of judging from what I can see with these sports seats, it's hard to come by them not ripped. So I think we might just keep these seats and clean them up. Moving on to the other side of the interior, the door handle is horrid. It's broken and it was all sticky and stuff, so they just duct taped it together, which is not a good look. So we're actually going to hopefully replace that or just the whole door panel all at once. Moving on to the seat on this side, it is not torn, it is just extremely dirty as we can tell. So we'll get that cleaned up and replaced. Moving on to other E90 issues, this cup holder works, it's open, I'm going to keep it open. That cup holder is closed, so I don't know if I'll just figure out how to open it and leave it open or if we'll replace it with a fresh one. This 335i is actually pretty well optioned. We do have the iDrive screen, although it is the iDrive 1, so it has that old style of knob. But I think what we can do here is we can install a CarPlay unit, which will make this much, much cooler and better to use. Moving on to the back seats. The doors are in that same shape. They are quite dirty. They're not in the best shape. And the door handles look like a dog just chewed through them. So that does not look good at all. We'll get to replacing that when we can. The rear seats are actually not too terrible. They're just quite dirty. So we'll have to get those cleaned up. But door handles on both sides, that side and that side, they got to get replaced or fixed or something. So moving on under the hood, we follow the theme of inside the vehicle. Nothing is missing, but there's a lot wrong. And I think that big oil splatter up on the hood kind of starts telling that tale. We can see that nothing is missing in the engine bay, like I literally just mentioned, but there's a few things that are leaking. If we take a look over here, we can see that the valve cover is indeed leaking. If we take a look over here, the oil filter housing gasket is indeed leaking. There's a few other leaks and just everything's covered in oil, so it's not looking too hot, to be honest. And in addition to that, after getting it home, it spilled coolant all over the ground, which was not fun. Back in the engine bay, another common thing, charge pipe has gone, so we'll have to replace that charge pipe with a fresh one, just so we can ensure and we can keep boost. In addition to all the cosmetic issues, these wheels are not in good shape. This one is actually in the best shape of all. Let's head over to the other side. Looking on the other side, this wheel is quite thrashed. It is not in good shape, so these wheels have to go. They might be used as our winter wheels because people do like this style of wheel, but we'll just have to see and if it even holds air after something like that. So let me know what you guys think of this car. I'm actually going to go get some parts for this car and start working on it right away while I have it here in the shop. This is much unlike the Miata, where the Miata was mechanically sound minus just a few maintenance items from sitting and a leaky valve cover from just being old, to this one where it needs a lot of work because it was not taken care of, it was not maintained well, and now I'm stuck with having to do all the work on it.
Remember, Parts Avatar has got your back, so don't forget to subscribe to the Parts Avatar channel so you don't miss any of these exciting videos.